You know the drill by now. Spooky season, Disney villains, dragons. So without further ado, on with the show. Good evening and welcome to the Isle of the Draconic. My name is Drakendoltagon, and I will be your guide. Throughout this world, there are a wide variety of dragons, each with their own temperament towards humanity. The dragons we will be discussing today, however, have all been known to be much more violent in nature. The first of these dragons is the righteous hellhorn, a name that seems ironic in retrospect. The species of dragon is a large purple western dragon, and in many ways resembles a gargoyle. This dragon is also known for their extremely hot flame breath, but more on that in a minute. In ancient times, certain religious groups believed these dragons to be symbols of God himself, doing his will upon the world. The reason they thought this was because these dragons would, seemingly at least, be kind to those, or at least be tolerant to, the righteous, while they would strike down the wicked with their fiery breath, burning them to a crisp and seemingly enacting God's judgment upon them. However, many other religious people, including myself, saw that this perspective was flawed. In actuality, the righteous hellhorn's targets were not sinners, but simply physically attractive women, whom the prejudiced religious groups at the time interpreted as inherently sinful. The Hellwing would kidnap the attractive woman and lock her away in its cave, for purposes that I do not even wish to speculate on. If the woman would not do as the dragon wished, the Hellwing would burn her alive. Fortunately, sightings of these dragons have decreased in recent years. The most recent of these sightings was in France, where a righteous hellwing was attempting to kidnap a dancer named Esmeralda. Fortunately, this dragon was slain by a disabled man named Quasimodo, who tricked it into burning itself with its own flames. As far as we know, this is the last of these dragons. However, if you do come across one of these species, may God have mercy on your soul. This next dragon, I will admit, is mostly shrouded by its mythology. Because of the vast number of myths that have arisen about this creature, it is hard to separate fact from fiction. However, I will try. This creature, called the heartless sea devil, is an aquatic dragon with an octopus-like face, a crab-like arm, and a dragon-like everything else. It is said to reside solely in the ocean, and only comes upon land once every 10 years. It appears to be one of a kind, and not part of a species. One may wonder how such a strange dragon could come to be, and for that we currently have no answer. But, as far as the mythology goes, the heartless sea devil was once said to be a human named Davy Jones, who fell in love with a woman. According to these myths, this woman was, in fact, a physical manifestation of the sea itself. Obviously, this relationship was not looking as if it was going to work, as he was a mortal human and she was an immortal nature spirit. However, like most desperate men, Jones was willing to do just about anything to be with her. In a series of ritualistic spells, Davy Jones transformed himself into a sea monster, so that he may forever be with his love. However, this ritual did not come without cost. There were a few side effects with the steel, 3 in particular. One is that he could only live in the ocean, and could only set foot upon land every 10 years. Though I have read myths where the creature was able to counteract this weakness by use of a very large bucket. Second, the heartless sea devil was not immortal. However, he would live as long as he had human souls to consume. Often, he would acquire these souls by making backhanded deals, hence the last part of his name. Finally, as part of this ritual, Davy Jones was forced to tear out his own heart and hide it away somewhere, hence the first part of the name. If one ever were to find this heart and destroy it, not only would they kill the heartless sea devil, but they would then be forced to become the creature itself. This next dragon also has much mythology surrounding him, though the way that the mythology relates to the actual dragon is strange. This dragon, called the Grecian underflame, is native to the Mediterranean, notably around Greece, as one would have surmised by the name. It is a large blue and grey amphitheater which lives in tunnels beneath Greece. It is unclear if this is a singular entity or simply a rare species, but what is clear is the dragon's personality. This species of dragon is cunning and vicious, often luring its prey down to its lair before eating them alive, and those are the lucky ones. If the prey does prove to be resilient enough to survive, but not strong enough to escape, the underflame will force it to work for him, forcing the victim to bring the dragon more food for itself. This villainous attitude was rather odd, mostly because of how much it doesn't match the mythology that surrounds it. According to local myths, this dragon was a part of a group of 12, or 13 depending on how you count, mighty dragons that were almost like gods. They ruled over different aspects of life, and the Grecian underflame was tasked with ruling over the dead. However, unlike its real-life villainous nature, this dragon was said to be kind, or at least generally neutral to those it ruled over, at least more than the other dragons in its pantheon. There are even legends of it helping people resurrect loved ones, something that a real-life dragon would never do. I have no answers to why this dissonance exists, but it does intrigue me. Finally, we'll be discussing a dragon that has been rumored to have made a re-emergence in recent days, and, for the sake of all humanity, I hope this is not the case. The yukidian is a yellow classical dragon with one eye and a triangular-shaped head. It was a rather small dragon, not being much larger than an average human, but did not allow its size to fool you. The dragon was said to be one of the most powerful in existence, being powerful enough to shape reality to its whims. There are horrible stories told of its abilities, including turning men into golden statues, brutally mutilating people's faces with thought, summoning other monsters, possessing other life forms, and other feats of weirdness. One may wonder how a dragon of this might was able to be defeated, and truthfully it was a matter of sheer luck. Fortunately for the rest of the world, this dragon spawned in a land known as the Falls of Gravitas. Not only was this area enchanted with a spell that prevented supernatural beings from leaving its borders, it was also the home of a family of monster hunters known as the Pines clan. Working together, the family was able to contain the weird dragon within the mind of one of their members, before proceeding to erase their memories, erasing the weird dragon along with it. At least that's what we thought. However, we have since heard rumors of its return, along with strange phenomena that accompanies it. I hope, for the sake of humanity, that these rumors aren't true.
So, this is man. Sales news on Marco Master. Loves this weakness of happens to Lucy. If this everything else in our server. So, this first, so often, rights are cards and all for nights and so, ich noch getiefen, das muss nicht mehr hoch, aber es war sie nur ein Nasenrest. Ich noch nicht wissen, es muss nicht so, mir was nicht reif, so war. So, ihn war ein Wurf, ich will nicht ich noch jetzt Jahren surfen. Das war der ja, ich nicht gesehen.
Well, that was concerning.